Rainalon here. So the update dropped, the new Warframe dropped as well, Dante, and this Warframe is very good, and I'll explain to you why. So we're gonna start with the passive, which is knock through, scan targets, recording information for your codex. The chance is increased by 50% on fully scanned targets. What it does is, when you use your first ability, it creates a Grimoire Exalted Weapon, and when you kill enemies, scan targets, if the target is fully scanned in your codex, they take 50% more status chance, which is very nice. So his first ability, as I said, is Exalted Tome, a weapon. When you shoot, your primary attack shoots a projectile. Once it hits an enemy, it will create 4 fragments, it will seek out nearest 4 enemies, and it does pretty solid damage for clearing and single target. The alternate fire, as you can see there, it does a shotgun arcoplasma or wave that pierces through any enemy, and it does pretty good burst damage. The second ability, what it does is it creates this circle animation and gives everybody overguard, including yourself, and it heals everyone for percentage, which if you press this ability twice, you fully heal anyone and you give them everybody overguard, and it's amazing. And it also, as you can see there, the overguard cap is 47,000, which is a lot of overguard. Especially you can give this to everyone, including companions, defensive targets, and allies. This is the dark version. This is the light version. The dark version is what it does a slash proc in a 50 degrees in a 35 meter radius. It procs 2 slashes, and it does pretty good damage for high and low missions. But I think this ability is very good for low missions, and also it's a very good ability for destroying boxes. Yes, it can destroy boxes, and it feels amazing. His ultimate has 4 ultimates, which is brand new. So what it does, the first ultimate is if you press this ability twice and you press the ultimate, you give everybody a massive overguard, and if the enemy you kill, you give yourself and allies overguard regeneration, which is very powerful. If you press the third ability twice, what it does over here, it creates a 52 meter radius AoE explosion that does 20,000 slash damage with the damage multiplier nearly 10x. So this ability, I have a feeling it lies. It doesn't really do 20,000. It doesn't multiply. It does much less, especially against enemies that are armored. Maybe it does that damage, but I have a feeling this damage is kind of disappointing. This is maybe the weakest version of the ultimate out of all 4. And this is the only damaging version. If you press your second ability first and your third ability second, then you press your ultimate. What it does, it creates a tome, as you can see there, a book that floats around you. So when you shoot your exalted tome and hit enemies, the tome that floats around you will also shoot, and then it does at the very bottom says damage 30%. What it does 30% of the damage of your tome. And for the final one is when you press your third ability first, your second ability second, you will create these 3 birds to float around you. If there's an enemy near them or near you, they will seek out the nearest enemy, hitting them, proccing slash, and proccing status vulnerability, which they pretty much take twice as much more damage, and even more, depending how much strength you have on your build. Overall, all of his abilities are very, very good. I'll show you how I build his Exalted Nocturne, or whatever how you read it. Then Tome, Exalted Weapon. So I didn't use the Tome mods. I don't like them that much. You can use them if you really like them. They're powerful, but I don't like them. So what I did, I used 2 50/50s, which is 1 Frostbite, 1 Pistolier, which gives you viral damage and a lot of status chance. Multi-shot for more damage, critical damage for more damage, critical chance to do more damage. fire rate to do more damage, heat to proc all heat, which does damage and damage over time, and surge chance galvanized shot to do even more damage. So yeah, it's pretty much the Alfire nearly does 60,000 damage, which is very nice, and the basic attack one, which is the primary attack, does total of 5,000, nearly 5,000, 5,500 damage, and for Exalted Weapon, it's pretty solid, I will say. It's not the best, but it's also not the worst. It's pretty solid what it does, especially if you like using those tomes, those tome mods for this Grimroar books, whatever it's called. I don't like them, but if you use them, they will buff your abilities even more. How I build him is pretty much you just go power strength, power strength, power strength, power strength, and over here more ability strength. So a lot of power with a little bit of range, as you can see here. Argon reach and stretch, more range, prime flow and energize for the energy economy, immunity to knockback, and for the duration to be above 100% to make your abilities last longer. So why am I using Arcane Intensify? Well, it's pretty simple. The second ability says here it heals 62% of target's maximum life, so that means heals you and allies, which will all pretty much you will always have Arcane Intensify on. What does Arcane Intensify do? It gives you 30% ability strength, and restoring health with the ability, which this does, gives you additional 30% for 10 seconds. So this single mod gives you 60% ability strength, which is more than a Transforming Fortitude. So as you can see here, I have 314 ability strength, 175 range, and positive duration, which in my opinion, this is maybe the best possible build you can have on him. Maybe you will change this mod with something else. More damage, more sustain, depends. But I think cast speed is very nice of him, especially casting these three abilities, which is the only one that work with cast speed. This one works only with fire rate. And generally, that's pretty much the only build possible I build on him. There's nothing better. I don't feel like removing helmet. I don't feel like adding a helmet ability. I think all of his abilities are very good and very powerful. Synergize really well. If you add a helmet ability, you will lose the synergy. And it just doesn't feel right. I also used 3 of Crimson Arcane Shards and 2 yellows. So these two give me 50. Nature Talent gives me another 50. That's 100%. So I double my cast speed. So when I press my third ability, it's very fast. So I will explain to you in-game the abilities again to give you a bit better view. So first ability creates a tome. As you can see there, he's holding it. If you shoot enemies, hit one enemy, and then the enemy that got hit creates 4 fragments, and those 4 fragments will seek out nearest enemy in a small radius. So when I hit him, this guy took damage, this guy took damage, and this guy over here took damage. As you can see there, the guy nearly lost... No, he did lose over 30% of his maximum life by me shooting him twice. That's how powerful the Exalted Weapon truly is. So, as you can see below my crosshair, there is a purple bar, depending on your ability color. Once this is filled up, you can press the alternative fire. For me, it's middle mouse. And it creates this Arcaplasma wave. It does decent damage. I think the basic attack ones are much better, mostly because you can spam them. But I think the reason why the alt fire doesn't do much, because of the 2 mods. There are 2 mods that if you use the alternate fire gives you like ability, efficiency, duration, and range. And I think it's only used by... That's why you only use it, just to give you buffs when you mod it like that. That's why I just don't like the alternative fire mode. The second ability, yet again, when you press it, top right, as you can see, gives you Overguard 1571. Also, you can also see my buffs when I press my 2. It turns on Arcane Intensify, which gives you more ability strength when you're restoring health with abilities, which I did with my 2. My 2 gives me health. If my third ability, when you press it on enemies, as you can see there, I can spam it with a lot of cast speed. It looks, you constantly proccing slash on enemies. When you can see here, there's 15 slash procs on enemies. It has pretty solid damage for high level, but I think for low level this is overkill, and it's a very powerful ability. As you can see there, it's a very long range. And as pseudo, I call it pseudo, line of sight. It doesn't have that like bullshit line of sight that they've been releasing, but it has a pretty solid line of sight. So you can hit enemies through walls, as you can see here. These 2 have been hit because I can see them slightly, but these guys behind this wall, I can't. And let's start with the ultimate. So if you press your second ability twice, at the bottom right, you will see a book. On top of the book, you will see like a shield that is glowing, has a star on it. If I press my ultimate, on the top right, you will see I got 23,000 overguard, which I can give it to myself and everyone. And you also get a buff called Triumph. What Triumph does is gives you overguard regeneration. So when you kill enemies. So if I kill this guy during that effect, you will see on the top right, my overguard starts regening. There we go. And it stops. It's regens specific amount. And I think it says here, it gives you 157 when you kill one enemy. But if you're constantly killing enemies, you'll constantly get 157. It's just overlapping, and it feels amazing when you see those numbers constantly grow and grow and grow. His third ability, when you press it twice, bottom right, it will show you a skull. So when I use an enemy on nearby enemies, it do this AoE burst. As you can see there, because corrupted heavy gunners are heavily armored, so they don't take that much damage. For high level missions, like I said, it's very weak. But for low level missions, it does really do a lot of damage. But I will say it's maybe the weakest ability of all of his abilities. So now if I press my second ability first and my third ability second, you will get this like circle with a book inside. And when I press my ultimate, it will create this tome on my left, as you can see there. So when I summon my book myself and I shoot this enemy, he's going to look at the enemy and shoot as well. So, and it does 30% of my modded Grimoire exalted weapon damage. Jesus Christ. Too many words. So when I shoot, it also shoots, that's 30% of the damage, and it pretty much helps. It also lasts exact same amount like the Triumph one with the overguard regeneration. It lasts for 1 minute, nearly 1 minute. So pretty much you can just do second ability, 4, second ability, third ability, 4, and you now have both Triumph and the tome that follows you around. So now the only thing is left is the birds. If you use your third ability first, second ability second, you will get the icon of a bird. If you press your fourth ability, the birds will seek out nearby enemies, walking slash, if you can see there, and also they also have vulnerable debuff on them, over 150%, so they take twice as much, even more damage. As you can see there, they die much quicker than they should. The bird lasts also nearly a minute, so you can have all 3 debuffs, buffs on you pretty much all the time. So you use second, ult, third, second, ult, second, third, ult, and as you can see here, the bird lasts a minute, the book lasts a minute, and the overguard regeneration, Triumph, lasts a minute. So he's very, very good. I've been playing him since release for the past 4 hours, 5 hours. He's very fun. I use them on survival, I use them on defense, I use them on mobile defense, excavation, RBs, and I just didn't have any problems with him. He's maybe one of the most perfectly released Warframes that has all 5 abilities very good. When I say 5, I mean the passive. Everything is just good on him. I just wish every Warframe had this type of treatment like he did. So pretty much that's it. I hope this YouTube video helped with the build and the explanation of his abilities, how he functions, how good he is. He's very good. I find him useful in every game mode. I hope it really helps. So I do stream on Twitch, Rainalon. You'll see in the description. You have to copy it. Sadly, the link system doesn't work yet. I need to wait 2 months. I stream pretty much every day. I'll play Warframe most of the time. I really like this game. I've been playing it. I have over 7,000 to 8,000 hours in it. Step into my Twitch channel, ask questions. I really love answering questions. I will make also daily YouTube videos for future Warframes and Warframes that have been out for quite a while. So that's pretty much it. I hope this YouTube video helped. I hope the build that I created you enjoy. Thank you everyone for watching. See you next time. Goodbye. Thank you.